What's going on, everybody? The Digital Dungeon Master here, and in today's Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition video for beginners, I'm going to talk nothing but the attack of opportunity. Now, if you're a savvy veteran of 30 plus years like myself, you probably already know what an attack of opportunity is, but if you're new to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, you'll find this video quite useful. So if you're new, you're probably asking yourself, well, Digital Dungeon Master, what the heck is an attack of opportunity? Well, the attack of opportunity is where you have some type of mental lapse just for a split second, and you let your guard down. And in previous editions of Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing games like Pathfinder, the attacks of opportunity mechanic became super cumbersome. And you could take attacks of opportunity for a multitude of things. But in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, which has a very rule-light theme, the attack of opportunity has been dummied way down, and it fits the theme of 5e. So in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, there's really only one way to take an attack of opportunity, with one exception that I'm going to tell you. And that way is by leaving the reach of an enemy. Now you can see on my battle grid here, I have Rain, which is my player character, engaged with an orc. Now, if Rain wants to run away, she can do so, but she's going to take that attack of opportunity. And when she leaves the reach, which is the adjacent square, and you have to take weapon reach into consideration as well, like a glaive or a halberd, because it has an additional 5-foot reach. So if Rain was engaged to the orc, she wants to run away, she's letting her guard down. She's had that mental lapse, and she's going to take the attack of opportunity. And that's a basic attack roll versus your armor class. Now there's also a feat that a caster can use a spell, a hit roll spell, not, they're not going to be able to shove a saving throw fireball down your throat or anything. But if the spell has an attack roll, that spellcaster can also use that as well. But that's only if that caster has the Warcaster feat. And we'll talk about the feats later on. So Rain let her guard down. She would take the attack of opportunity from the orc. Now, what if Rain is here, and I mentioned the weapon reach? Now, what if she's engaged with this orc here that has a glaive or a halberd that has the reach mechanic with the weapon? That means that the reach is 10 feet. Now, she's 10 feet away. Now, what if Rain is just running by from left to right? She's still within 10 foot. She's still within 10 foot. She's still within 10 foot here. But as she leaves, she's going to have to stop, and the orc with the large weapon with reach can then take an attack of opportunity. So there's a couple of variables, but like I said, it's super rule light in 5e. Just watch the reach of the weapon. Make sure that it's not a large weapon. Now, I mentioned an exception to the rule. Remember, I did mention that. So we're going to have Ander here. He wants to engage this orc, and the orc is waiting for him. He's in a battle-hardened stance. And Ander, it's his turn. He wants to run in, and he's feeling frisky, and he wants to swing his mace and hit the orc upside of his head. Well, you need to pay attention to the large weapon again, and if that creature that you're fighting or wanting to engage has the Polearm mastery, that's the exception. Because the Polearm mastery allows that creature, or you, because, not only do the monsters get attack of opportunities, but you do as well. So everything the monsters can do, you can do too. So we're saying Anders running in and wanting to engage this orc. The orc's got a halberd with a 10-foot reach, and the orc has the Polearm mastery. So the exception is when Ander runs into its reach. So as soon as Ander gets 10 foot away from the orc can then surprise the crap out of Ander and get the attack of opportunity. And then bam, Ander gets swiped. Ander gets hit. So those are the variables involved. And you only get one attack of opportunity per round. And you use your reaction to take the attack of opportunity. So make sure you have your reaction. If you're a spellcaster and maybe you use your reaction on something else, maybe like a shield or something like that, then you wouldn't be able to take the opportunity attack. You have to have your reaction because it costs the reaction to take the attack of opportunity. Then the orc will get his attack, and then after the attack of opportunity has been taken, Ander can then complete his movement by engaging the orc. And then once Ander is engaged with the orc, he can run around the orc all day long and run circles around him. So if Ander has like a 30-foot around movement, he can literally run around the creature, but just don't leave the creature's reach. Because as soon as you leave the reach, that's when you're going to get zapped with the attack of opportunity. And like I said, not only do the monsters get attacks of opportunity, but so do you. So you might be asking yourself, hey, Digital Dungeon Master, is there a way to prevent taking these attacks of opportunity? Because I really suck. And the answer is absolutely. You can negate them. And it takes an action called disengage. And when it's your turn, you spend your action, tell the DM that you're going to disengage. And what disengage does is it allows you to run away from the target or targets up to your maximum movement as long as you have a clear path to run, and it negates any amount of opportunity attacks. For example, say Rain here, she's had one orc engager, she's had the second orc engager, and then Ander, he engages her because he's controlling the two orcs. And now it's a 3-on-1. It's a total gangbang, right? So it comes to Rain's turn, and she wants to get out of dodge. She takes the disengage action, and that allows her to move up to her movement. So she can move 30 feet away. She can move 6 grids. And then she's safe until, of course, they catch up. But hopefully, if she's got her other party members still up and alive, they'll be able to join in and assist her and help intercept these 3 targets. So that's how you ignore an attack of opportunity. So now let's talk about another variable that can be involved with an attack of opportunity. What happens if you were just within a blast radius of, say, a thunder wave that would make you move back? What if a huge fireball blew up and knocked you back? What happens if a wizard cast a gust of wind and it knocked you back? Would you take the attacks of opportunity? No, you won't, because no force movement in D&D 5e allows someone to get an opportunity attack on them. So, example, we'll say the orc, both of the orcs were engaged with Rain. And then Ander sees the sharp claws of Rain and doesn't want any part of getting his pretty face scratched up. So Ander casts Thunderwave, which is basically 15 foot. And there's a saving throw involved, and if Rain would fail the saving throw, she would be knocked back 10 feet. So what if she's knocked back 10 feet? That would leave the reach of both of the orcs, right? Wouldn't that give Rain 2 attacks of opportunity? No, it won't. Because like I said, no forced attacks, any forced movement will give an attack of opportunity. So Rain can get pushed back. She'll take the damage and get knocked back. What about teleporting? Teleporting, you can teleport too, and you will not take an attack of opportunity. So if, Rain is here again, and all 3 of the NPCs are engaged with her, she can take her action, cast a spell. She can cast teleport. She can, cast Misty Step, and she'll instantly teleport somewhere else. And that will not provoke an attack of opportunity. So no attacks of opportunity on force movement, and no attacks of opportunity for casting any kind of teleportation spell. So as a reminder, watch the size of a creature's weapon. It has the reach property and has an extra 5 feet. And they will zap you. Believe me, DMs will throw larger weapons on creatures to zap you if you're not paying attention. Now remember the feats. There's 4 feats. There could be more added later on, but as of right now, there are 4 feats that will mechanically change the attack of opportunity slightly. And thank goodness it doesn't have the massive amount of cumbersome mechanics as the past editions had. So the first feat, we've already talked about Warcaster. And Warcaster is, it allows the caster that has the feat the ability to use a attack roll type of spell like Firebolt or Guiding Bolt or Chromatic Orb, anything that has a spell attack attached to it, you can use that as an attack of opportunity. So that be wary of casters in case they have the Warcaster feat, because DMs will throw those in there too. Even though it doesn't say the creature has Warcaster, I've done it in the past as well. I like to surprise players. So be wary of casters and attack of opportunities. The second we haven't mentioned yet, it's called Mobile. And Mobile, when you attack a creature that you're engaged with, and if you want to run away, you can. Because if you attack the creature, you won't take any attack of opportunity. It's a unique mechanic, but that's also a slight variable, and that's the Mobile feat. We've already talked about Polearm Mastery. This is where you have a glaive, or you have a halberd, or maybe a pike or a quarterstaff. And this is where, when a creature comes within your 10-foot reach, because of the weapon has a 10-foot reach, then you can zap them as they're coming towards you. And believe me, a lot of my players have been surprised when they've been zapped by a halberd or a polearm. And it's actually quite amusing, especially for a dungeon master. It's not amusing to the player, but it is to the DM. And I'm sure you DMs out there, you've probably chuckled under your breath. And then the last feat that I have not mentioned yet is called Sentinel. And Sentinel is a really good feat too. It does many things, but it does affect an attack of opportunity. So whenever you take the attack of opportunity and you have the Sentinel feat, if you hit the target, then the speed of the target becomes 0, and they can't proceed with their movement. So you basically pin them there in place. That's pretty damn cool too, isn't it? And even if they try to take the disengage action or anything like that, with Sentinel, you can still blast them with an attack of opportunity. So those are the 4 feats that have to do with slight mechanical adjustments with the attack of opportunity. And like I said, there could be more added on later on. D&D 5e is still relatively new. It's only several years old. And it's going to be around for a long time to come. So I'm sure there will be some more changes later on. So what's going on, Digital Dungeon Master, with all of these big bad monsters that you have on the grid? Well, these are some examples that I want to show you. Now that we've gone over all of the mechanics and all of that stuff, I want to show you what the larger creatures can do. So here we have good old Rain. We're picking on Rain for this video. And she's engaged with a Bone Naga. Well, you have to take into consideration the Bone Naga has a 10-foot reach on its bite. So if she tries to get away from the Naga and she thinks she's safe, the Naga can reach out and bite her with a 10-foot reach. Now over here on the right-hand side, we have the Otyugh. And the Otyugh, a classic monster from D&D created by Gary Gygax, it's got long tentacles. And it also has a 10-foot reach with its tentacle attacks. So we have to be wary of those. Then we get into the larger creatures. They're huge, which is a 3x3. And we have the Treant here. It's huge. The Treant, even though it's so huge, it only still has a 5-foot reach. So size can be deceiving. So Rain can be 10 foot away and be safe. But if she's within 5 feet, she'll get zapped if she tries to get away without using the disengage action. So not all monsters have a huge reach. So that's why I have the Treant up there. Another couple of huge creatures are the giants, and all of the giants are huge. And we have the fire giant here with its huge flaming sword. Well, that huge flaming sword has a 10-foot reach. So if Rain tried to get away, she would get zapped with an attack of opportunity. Now we also have a storm giant. And the storm giant, we'll say that for the video's sake, we'll say that the storm giant is a caster. Of course, you can see the electricity, encompassing her arms and her hands. And she has the warcaster feat. Now she can zap Rain within 10 feet if she's trying to get out of dodge. So that's the storm giant. Now with all the giants, they all have a 10-foot reach. But watch out for the hill giant, because that's the exception to the giants, because the hill giant has a long-ass club making its reach 15 feet. So be wary of that. Then the upgrades are the gargantuan monsters, and they're a 4x4, 20 by 20 foot creature. These are the largest in Dungeons & Dragons 5e. And here I have a Kraken. Well, let's say you're on a ship and you're attacked by this Kraken. And you're on the other end of the boat. You think, oh, okay, I'm safe. Well, you better watch out for those tentacle attacks, because the Kraken has a freaking reach of 30 feet. Wow. That's 30 feet. That's literally 6 grids away. So if Rain's on the other side fighting off another monster, or maybe a boarding party that's on the ship, and this Kraken jumps in, that Kraken can zap her from 30 feet away. That is insane. Now the last creature we got is the Ancient Red Dragon. 20 by 20. Also gargantuan. Not only do you got to, look out for wing attacks, you look out for bites with the long necks. Watch out for tails too. Because all of the ancient dragons, they have an attack range, a reach of 20 feet with their tail. So they can zap you with their tail too. So there you go, guys. That's everything you need to know about Dungeons & Dragons 5e and attacks of opportunity. I hope this video helped you guys out. And if you liked the video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. If you want to join the conversation, as a DM, what do you do for attacks of opportunity? Do you modify the monsters too? I'd like to know in the comment section down below. If you liked it, also feel free to leave a comment. Once again, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. And until next D&D video for beginners, keep it savage and keep rolling those 20s.